Hey guys, Caller here with SC2GG Rise, and we're commentating on Flash versus Hyvaa, a game played in the Pro League 2 days ago between KTF and Team eSTRO. And as always, we listened to your requests. I've gotten a couple requests for this game. Supposedly it was quite epic. So this is set 1 of that series. I do expect Flash to win in this series. Flash is 63% against Zerg. Of course, he is that crazy little monster that has been just tearing up the world recently. Although he's in a bit of a slump recently, I'd say. At least in the single games, he's been doing great in Pro League. He's right now, I think, the #1 listed Pro League player. But he's facing Hyvaa, who's 2-4 against Zerg. I don't really know much about him, but on Andromeda, I think Flash is just gonna pretty much own him pretty hard here. What do you think, Rise?
Yeah, I think that Flash is definitely the favored player, especially in this setup, and I think that he probably is gonna own him. At least that's what I get the impression of just by watching a couple of his previous games. If you guys watch Flash vs. Free, you would know exactly what I was talking about. But one of the things is they're playing on Andromeda. And Andromeda, of course, being a fairly large map, and it can be difficult for Terran to really put one of those standard pushes forward into the map. So Flash has his work cut out for him, and not to say that Hyvaa or Hyvaa, whatever you want to call him, doesn't. He's probably got more work cut out for him considering he's playing against Flash. And yeah, I think that Flash definitely has a lead in terms of favoritism, but I don't know. We're gonna have to see what happens.
Yeah, Andromeda, though, overall is still quite a Terran favorite map. I think it's something like, it's got a 2-to-1 ratio, 66% for Terran in the Terran versus Zerg matchup. It's just pretty easy to hold your front door there. And Flash, recently, though, I mean, if you watch my commentaries recently, Zero beat him quite convincingly on Harmony. That was quite a long and painful game to watch for Flash, where he just like lost his control over his units basically in the late game. I think he was panicking a bit. He just lost groups of medic marines here and there, couldn't get a push out, and just at the end was defeated pretty thoroughly. But looks like Flash is going to be going for standard opening here, going for the 10 racks. Often we have seen him in the past go for that 8 racks opening. I like to call it like the 8 racks expand. I actually really like that cute little build. He puts the forward barracks in his choke, and he goes for a bunker rush or just a quick harass, and then he goes into fast expand afterwards. Really interesting build, but looks like Hyvaa also smartly sent out a drone scout to make sure that he wasn't going to get bunker rush, and he has now gone for a 12 hatch. So pretty standard openings here. Hyvaa used to play 2v2 for eSTRO, but I guess they're moving him to 1v1. eSTRO not doing great this season, as they pretty much never do really that great. And we'll have to see what this kid manages to pull out here.
Yeah, I think that that Hyvaa, I forgot. You're right. I forgot about the fact that Andromeda has the mineral only and the natural expansion, so it's very easy for a Terran player to get a quick 2 expansions. And especially in a TVZ game, the extra minerals is easy to pump out a ton of medic marines if that's the build that you choose to go. And the medic marine build isn't that heavy in gas, so SK Terran build is a fairly common build on here, and we may see something like that come from Flash, and I wouldn't be too surprised. And it looks like he is going for that fairly quick expansion, and Hyvaa trying to get the second expansion in the mineral only himself, and he does get it down, so Flash managing to delay him for a few seconds there, but not really too much. So definitely going to be seeing a bit of a macro game, which has been the theme on Andromeda for quite a while now. I mean, it's a very large map with a lot of expansions, so I mean that's kind of just typically what we see here, and that's just that's why we've been seeing a lot of long games lately.
Yeah, Andromeda certainly definitely plays for that long game aspect, and I'm glad to see Flash isn't doing anything too wacky. I think against a guy like Hyvaa, he should stick to his standard build, stick to his guns. Don't go for something like crazy like 14 command center and die. Flash, Flash disappoints me so much. I mean, I gotta say, he's been one of the most frustrating players to be a fan of.
Yeah.
I mean, he just did so great at the beginning, and he just looked for like 3 months in early 2008. He looked like he was it. Like he was StarCraft. Like that was going to be it for StarCraft. There would be Flash, and StarCraft would be over. It was the end of history. Like, Flash was going to kill everybody forever. And then, like, everyone became fans of him. Yeah.
Yeah, he knew that.
And then, like, and then he, like, hit puberty or something. Like, what do you think caused Flash's... Yeah, what is your theory on why Flash crashed? Overconfidence?
Totally. Exactly what you were saying, man. He was so good, and then all of a sudden he starts doing crazy, stupid builds. Like, he was going 14 command center every single game for like 10 games in a row.
18 command center.
Yeah.
25 command center.
And it was almost like so he could prove that, hey, I am so good, I can do whatever I want, and he definitely had that while he was playing that perfect StarCraft for a while there. It was a very aggressive build every time. He was always going extremely fast expansions, expanding like crazy, and he just all of a sudden it got into his head. And that's what happened, I think. I think he just said, I could do whatever I want and win.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he didn't go for the sort of bread and butter builds as much, especially Terran versus Terran. 4GG just read him like a book in that series they played 2 seasons ago in the Arena MSL.
Yeah.
4GG definitely surprising everyone by beating him, and then going on to surprise the world by beating Jaedong. But anyway, here we're seeing in this game pretty standard opening, except for the early evolution chamber from Hyvaa. Interesting enough, I think he wants that early +1 Carapace. Otherwise, he's gone for that standard 3-hatch Mutalisk build there. That early Carapace could play into effect. I guess he's expecting a very macro game here, so he wants to get that early +1 Carapace. It will be definitely ahead, although I think it might cost him a bit in terms of the number of Mutalisks or Lurkers that come out soon. Yeah, I mean, my theory for Flash, I think it's definitely what you said. Also, it's overwork. I mean, literally, the kid's like going through a growth phase. And, you know, he needs like some time to like get a girlfriend, you know, figure out what life is all about. And then basically at that time, KTF was like, hey, you're going to play in every game from every series in the first 4 games, and you're going to be our ace every single freaking series, like 3 times a week. And he was in every Star League. He was in the MSL, OSL, and the GOM TV Classic. Like, the kid was like just so overworked. The kid had like the biggest bags under his eyes that you've ever seen, like in a 14-year-old or 16-year-old or whatever. He was 15, I think. I don't know. I think that was a big part. Do you remember how tired he looked? Like every game.
Yeah,
he looked exhausted.
I do. He would sink back. He would sink back in his chair, and it was like I couldn't believe he was even playing. I thought his eyes were going to close mid-play. And I think you're right. He was overworked, and he definitely needed to get some play other than StarCraft. And he probably never even got to learn how to take a bra off properly or something like that because he's so busy.
Dude, did you watch the video? Did you see the interview of him with his there's one where they go to his junior high school or something. I think he's in 10th grade or 9th grade. And they interview like this girl. Oh, they interviewed this girl, and she's like supposed to be Flash's girlfriend, but Flash is all shy. And the kid's like, no, he's not actually dating her. And she pushes him, and he falls down.
He totally paid her off.
and then she pushes him, and he falls. That's it.
That's awesome.
And he also, evidently, all he does is sleep in class because the kid doesn't. He's like a crap student because he plays StarCraft.
Yeah, well, I slept a lot in college, but it turned out I had mono. I found out 6 months later from my doctor. He's like, yeah, you had mono at some point. I'm like, wow, that would explain a lot. So yeah, maybe he had mono.
Maybe that girl had something to give him. Oh, no, wait, what? But anyway, this game is getting really weird, by the way. We should probably commentate on that. The fact that Hyvaa has gone for he didn't go for a Mutalisk harass. He went for like almost an anti-Protoss build. He went for 5 hatcheries, double evolution chamber. He's going to go for like fast cracklings here. He's got Queen's Nest going
ultras,
down.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I don't know, it's like a rush to Defilers, I think. I think it's going to be a rush to, like, Defiler Crackling. Definitely an unorthodox build here. Wow, this is really interesting. And look at this, I think they're pointing out that Flash has wasted something like, 750 minerals on turrets, which he's not going to be able to, which is not going to be cost-effective at all, because we haven't seen a single Mutalisk out. So in some ways, he faked Flash out here, and it looks like he's actually going to go for some Lurkers, I'm going to guess, because he's got a Hydralisk out there. So it could be something like a fast Lurker Defiler Ling build. Really interesting.
Yeah, I've been seeing a couple of games lately where pro gamers have gone Aspire, and it's in anticipation, I think, of an SK build. And oh, Flash is going to see the lurker eggs over there, so he's going to see those are coming. But obviously, he's got the he had a science facility going down, and he's got the starport. So he's obviously he has a starport. So he's going to be going for some science vessels, and I think that the Spires have been going out. Maybe you're right to first get them to build a bunch of extra turrets to delay them a bit. But at the same time, now Hiva is prepared for the science vessel when it comes out, as it is coming out right now, and he'll be able to scourge like crazy. Well, he'll be able to scourge, I guess, as much as he needs to. But the other thing that I wanted to mention is a lot of times when I see a double evolution chamber, especially on a large map.
Oh my God! What the hell?
Queens!
Queens!
Wow!
Holy shit! I'm sorry. What?
I have no idea what he's planning on doing with those queens.
What is he doing?
Oh my God!
This... Ensnare? Is he like
parasite?
Doing some like? I have no idea. I mean, he's like almost like doing ceremonies, except he hasn't done anything to show he's gonna win. I guess he's gonna go for Ensnare. Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a Queen Ling Ultra combination.
Yeah, but every time that the stim goes down, they're going to have a tough time running away from Ultraling for sure, especially Crackling. And, you know, if he gets a good surround on him, it's going to be very difficult to micro and snare Medic Marines. And there's a lot of Medic Marines out on the field. So this could work out very well for Hiva if that's exactly what he's doing. And if you couple that with Plague, forget it.
Yeah, man, but seriously though, this is such a bizarre build. Off of 2 gas, he's going to produce only a very few number of any of these units, whether they be Ultras or Queens or Lurkers. I'm just very surprised he's spending his valuable resources, his very rare gas on this kind of stuff, and he has no other expansions on the map. He's just off of his initial 2 bases. He's going to go for a mineral-heavy build here. He's going to have to. He's got a lot of lings. They're +1/+1. He's got that really early. He's probably working on 2/2 right now, but he's going to only have a couple of Ultras. This is such a strange build. Okay, now he's getting an expansion at the upper right. He's going to go for this fast Ultralisk upgrade build, and this is something you usually don't see in the pros. I've seen amateur players do this before and do well with it, but it is such a strange build to be seeing here, and I like it though. I like it. You're playing against Flash. I think you need some kind of a new gimmick to beat him, because Flash, no matter what you say about him, is still incredibly strong in the late game.
Yeah, Flash is Flash, and it should be mentioned that he's got an expansion going on the bottom left as well, so he's going for that 4 gas, which could easily support pretty much any tech that he wants to go, although the bottom left has been spotted and being attacked. And, there's the Ensnare! It is Ensnare! And those Medic Marines, look how slow! Double Ensnare! Here comes the force of Lurkers pushing in, and the Lurkers are going to do a ton of damage because the Marines can't run out of the way! And look at the huge Ling force! Oh my God! Scourge going in, and there's nothing Flash can do! He skims and everything. Oh my God! Wow, this is genius play right here. I cannot believe that. He needs some more Ensnare though, I think. Oh, look at the blood! Look how many Lings just died.
Oh, that was a miss, but yeah, I gotta say that was cost effective. That was insane. I cannot believe that. He actually used Ensnare correctly. I mean, I guess in the late game against a giant Terran Ball, Ensnare can be really useful. That's just incredible.
Apparently, he could teach Jadong a couple of things. I think most players could learn a couple of things from that. Nobody uses Queens, and irradiate on the Queen. So Flash actually feeling a little threatened, I say, and another Ensnare going down before the Queen pops. That was great, and two Queens are going to get ensnared. I'm sorry, irradiated. But another one still left to do a little bit more harassment, if anything. I mean, seriously, Ensnare, what does it do to players? It pisses them off. If nothing else, it pisses you off. Who wants to be ensnared? Because it takes forever for your units to get anywhere. I hate Ensnare.
Well, the thing is about Ensnare is that it's quite temporary, and it's only really effective when you have a big clump and you don't expect it, like Flash didn't expect it, and he just got double Ensnared, just like right in the face, right in the kisser, and he's like, oh my God, and that first Medic Marine group getting killed was huge, because now Flash's push is going to be really delayed, and the fact of the matter is Flash should have been able to take out more of the expansions than Parasite on the Medic.
Parasite did test.
That's a waste. That's a waste. I think he should be saving the parasites for the science vessels, actually. Makes them quite useless.
I think he was going after it, but he was irradiated, and he wasn't going to make it because the science vessel was running away. So I think it was a last resort. Well, I might as well get something.
But that medic's gonna be all alone there. What's a girl like you doing in a place like this? Basically, that's what's gonna happen. Some guy's gonna pick him up. Some sleazy guy. Firebat Hero's gonna pick her up.
Hey, low blow.
I think that's
well,
plus 2
Firebats
carapace.
do hang out with medics, right?
That's true. That's true. That's plus 2 carapace here for the Zerg player Hiva. Yeah, plus 4, plus 2 Ultralisks out already, and this is gonna be really tough. Flash
Not
needs
bad.
some really good Science Vessel control here. He needs to irradiate everything he sees, or else he's gonna be in huge trouble.
Yeah, but the thing to mention about Flash's build is the fact that he can easily support a ton of Science Vessels if he's only going Medic
That's
Marines.
right.
And if he gets another expansion up, I mean, he can actually throw up a 3rd starport if he wanted. But Hiva not caring at all about his irradiated Ultra, killing his own Lings rampantly. And it looks like Flash has not yet gotten that 3rd expansion that I do think he needs to consider at some point in the near future if he's going to continue to pump out or to really push his Science Vessel production. And big force going out. It looks like we may see a little bit of a trade in attacks here. No, Flash gonna pull back, so Flash expecting this, and oh, Scourges just catching Science Vessels out in the open, but not enough Scourges. Irradiate going down, Queen's ensnaring, but like Cholera was saying before, not enough clumping. Oh, and there we see the clump.
That was a good one. That one worked.
But at this point, I don't know if it's going to do as much damage. Another good one, but he's lost all of his Lings already, and down to 4 Ultras. Irradiated ones at that. I don't know how effective they'll be at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Queens. I mean, they're cute and all, but then again, they are pretty expensive, and at this point, he could be better off with Defilers. Maybe he's just wanted that element of surprise with these Queens, but I think he'd be better off switching to Defilers at this point. Queens are 100-100, and yeah, 50-150 for Defilers. Once you get the Consume, some Dark Swarms could have easily taken out Flash's Force rather than Ensnares, which, you know, they just make you slightly less effective. I forget the statistics. I think the statistics are for Ensnare decreases Marine firing by 33%. I think it perfectly negates Stim. So a Stim Marine's equivalent of a normal Marine. But that's it, though. I mean, it's good, but it ain't, you know, it ain't that good. And Flash is going to take out the lower left expansion now. I think he's already taken out the right side expansion, so Hiva is just limited to basically 3 gas right now still. He still just has 1 expansion beyond his main.
I think that Hiva, I think you're right. I think he really needs to go Defilers, especially when you start getting that real critical mass of Vessel Cloud going. There's not much else, and a new expansion going up for Flash, by the way. He's building another command center. I mean, when you have like 6 or more vessels and you have them all clumped up, Plague is the ultimate equalizer for Defilers. I mean, for Zerg to deal with Science Vessels, because you can play.
Oh my God! The Flash! Holy Flash! Daydreaming about girls or something. Just floating his commands. Yeah, he's just floating those vessels around the middle of the map. I know what he was doing. He was trying to hunt for these Ultras, but just way too cavalier with them, I feel. And oh, he's getting caught up again. Oh, another one goes down. Flash down at just 4 vessels now. This has been a chronic problem of his. Like, literally in every game he's lost recently to Zerg, he's been losing vessels left and right like this. He cannot sustain these losses. Yeah, wow.
Jeez, he's really got to. Yeah, you're right. He's got to be a lot more careful with them. I mean, they're expensive units and they do a lot of damage, so you got to be a lot more.
Well, they're
careful
the backbone. Yeah, they're the backbone of the SK Terran build. I mean, if you don't have them, you just got Medic Marines against huge, giant Ultralisks with 400 hit points. That's right.
Forget it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that Cloud, I think we really need to see Defilers, and I think you're right. Flash has to be more careful. We're not seeing, but if you look at it, he is keeping up production. He's back up to 5 or 6 already. And I mean, that is the strength of this map for SK Terran builds. And so Hiva's got to really be a lot more careful with his Scourging. And another big battle, and just, we really are seeing a lot of Irradiate. And Flash is just destroying that bottom left over and over. I mean, he just waits for the expansion to pop up. This is like the 3rd time he's killed it now, and Hiva not doing anything about it. I mean, this is 3 times. It's about to go down. Does it make it?
Oh
no, it doesn't go down!
Looks like he was a microwave.
It actually got saved. Wow, nicely done by Hiva, or poorly done by Flash, whichever way you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, Hiva has definitely not been that great with his interception of these dropships. Certainly a couple of Scourge at one of those open areas, the space areas, say right below the 9 o'clock expansion. That's a common good area to put Scourge, intercept shuttles and dropships, so that would have been good in that case. And now Flash sending his main army over to the bottom left. He does not want Hiva to get the fourth gas that would provide him. And Hiva also has retaken the 3 o'clock, but once again, he has not managed to secure anything, any kind of economic advantage in this game right now. Flash already expanding to 9 o'clock. Here comes another cloud of Scourge to deal with the science vessels. One science vessel. Is he going to get two? I think he's going to get... Nope, just one. So both players showing a little bit of slips in micro. I think Hiva's slip in micro there was also somewhat significant. I think he could have caught more than one vessel with that number of Scourge. But Flash now has up to 7 again with his vessels. Like you said, SK Town in this map is quite effective. And only now are we seeing the Defiler Mound. This is really interesting. Very, very late Defiler Mound. I thought he was going to go for Defiler Ultra. I think had he gone for that, his Bizarre build may have worked better than what ended up happening with the Queens. Because I don't know about the Queens, man. I mean... They're a gimmick, yeah. They're cute and everything, but unless he like went for some crazy like command center snipe, you know, where you get the command center to half health with all your units and then you throw your queen there and she infests it, that would have been cool if we saw that.
I think Hiva is a queen, man. I mean, there's nothing else to say about it. He had a really good chance there. He caught Flash off guard. If he made the tech switch, he could have done a good job. A big battle going on over here. A couple of science vessels getting caught. A nice round by Hiva. All right, so finally a good job microwing, and Flash actually looking a little worried for a second there. A little bit of worry on his face. But look at all those science vessels. Not enough Scourge on the field. No plague. He's finally getting the defilers out, but this is just going to kill Hiva if he cannot deal with the science vessel cloud. And definitely he needs to get some sort of plague and a hero muta out there too. I mean, seriously, taking out a couple more, which is exactly what he needs to do.
More.
Definitely. Oh man, losing expansions all over the place. One thing I gotta
mention before it's
too late. Wow, it was like 10 drones, 12 drones. One thing I gotta mention is Flash is all over this map, man. He is everywhere, and he's doing a really good job of keeping the pressure on.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely agree with that. But it looks like Flash's 9 o'clock expansion is now exposed because Flash's army in the ground has been divided and killed, and once again he's forced to lift. This game is actually really wild because Flash is going to find out he does have the advantage of that 12 o'clock island. I love taking that island on Andromeda, and it's just a great island. It's just great to have if your opponent can't deal with it. In this case, it looks like Hiva is unable to get drop or speed for his Overlord, so basically nothing he can do about the 12 o'clock. And meanwhile, now Flash with a large medic marine group attacking the upper right. If Hiva can't hold this, I'm going to say it's GG for him. But if he can hold this, I think he's still in this game. He's got Pearl, too, for his Zerglings. +3, +2 for melee. And I got to say, what would Firebrand Hero do right now if you were Flash? Tell me the unit he'd be building in a late-game situation where there's kind of a stalemate.
Supply Depot Heart? I don't know. I mean, he'd probably go BCs.
Battle cruisers.
We've seen it before.
Yeah, exactly.
And he would definitely go BCs. I think Flash is in position to do that, but you're probably right. He probably is mined out. And he has, what does he have? No scan? I mean, how is he not getting those burrowed units out of there? What's with that shit? Wow. And that's bottom left expansion going down for the 80th time now for Hiva. And I guarantee he loses it within, I don't know, 45 seconds. I mean... One thing that we got to mention is the fact that Terran has that unspoken advantage of the ability to lift, and it's such a big advantage to not lose an expansion when you have Ultralink come in who can attack air units against losing a hatchery that has to be completely rebuilt.
Oh my God,
There's no way to defend it.
Yeah, but Flash this game has... Oh, that's a good swarm. Nice, well-placed swarm. But Flash this game has been just bleeding science vessels. I mean, he's acting like they're a Scourge or something. He's just sacrificing them. I seriously don't think his science vessels have been cost-effective at all. I mean, he's gotten a couple of... He's gotten a lot of good irradiates, but on the other hand, he's been losing them so much. But yeah, anyway,
what do
Flash
we have here?
Bottom left going down, going up, going down. Oh, Firebat's coming out for Firebat Hero.
Not Firebat Hero.
Not good. Not good against Ultras. They're gonna get mauled. Oh, the Defiler walks into a Firebat, and the bottom left goes down.
Bam. That's funny, man. That is I think literally the.
Oh, another one. Down. Another Defiler bites it. That's a mistake.
That's gonna kill Hiva at this point. I mean, he's pretty low on cash at this point, and he's going to have a tough time mining at all, losing the amount of expansion that he's been losing in the past. And there we see the Stargates continually pumping out those vessels. And, I mean, that's just going to show that if Flash can micro those vessels a little bit better, I mean, he's going to win the game. There's nothing that Hiva can do if he can't take out those vessels, because Irradiate is just going to continue to play the game. It's going to continue to ruin his life as a Zerg player. I mean, 10 vessels irradiating. What's he got left? 4? Is that it? Is he down to 4 again?
He's down to 4. He's down to 4 because, yeah.
Operation
He's down to 4
Science Vessel Meat Shield.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it looks like Firebat Hero is not going to happen in this game, though. We're not going to see the battle cruisers. For a second, I was hoping he would make some battle cruisers. Somehow, like, the spirit of Firebat Hero had infected him. But looks like he's going to go for a sensible build here, stay with SK Terran. And now he's threatening the front of Hiva. Hiva throwing in his units piecemeal, not going to work against that large, super upgraded Medic Marine army. Although, actually, the upgrades are even. Both are maxed out anyway, so not too much of an advantage for having 3-3 Marines. But I think Hiva had the right idea in some ways of coming up with a new good build, but I gotta say his Defiler play for the year 2008 is not very good. I mean, yeah, he needed some better Defiler play to really even this game up. I guess there was a reason why he got his Defiler's Defiler mount so late, because he kind of sucks with them. I mean, maybe he was just embarrassed. It was like,
he didn't want to use them.
Yeah, I don't want to show you my Defiler play. I'm gonna build queens.
Because he's a queen. But that Science Vessel Cloud is back up and running, and I think Flash has taken the game at this point. I think that you're right, the Defiler play is a little different these days. We need to see a lot more Plague out on the field rather than offensive swarm, and Flash pushing in Defense Major Singer Marine, and there is Hiva giving up with the GG, the stretch out GG, nice form.
Oh man, Hiva looks heartbroken there. He's like, I almost beat Flash with queens. Just think about it. Had he beaten him, he would have made himself into like an instant celebrity. He would have been the next Taza, who beat Bisu recently. He would have been the next Taza, but unfortunately, Flash prevails in the end.
Be the next Taza.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind being the next Taza. Next Taza's getting some right now from one of Bisu's many girlfriends. But
he just stole Flash's girlfriend.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But this game was really interesting. To recap, I mean, what did we see here? We saw very fast fake Spire. Well, you know, standard fake Spire, standard timing for Spire, but it was a fake, into double evolution chamber, into fast, I guess it was Lurkerling Queen, briefly.
Ultraling.
That's what it was.
He went to kick Ultraling, though.
Yeah, he went to Ultraling, but when he had the advantage, he was just on Lurkers, and basically he was on just like 1/1 Crackling plus Queens. That's what he won a huge battle with, right? I mean, pretty much he just he just had so many Zerglings. He had like probably 5 control groups plus Ensnare, and that was enough. But then then the game just slipped out of hand when he just couldn't hold his expansions. Flash, of course, being the good Terran he was taking them down as soon as they were growing up. Pretty much afterwards, Hiva showed why he's not a great, not a great Zerg player, because he doesn't play the late games well. And unfortunately, despite the innovative play, I mean, do you think any Zergs in the future are going to be using the Hiva build, so to speak?
You know, I could see it from someone who has the ability to really micro those tech units. I mean, you see it from the pros, the really good pros. They're a step above the rest when they can micro their magic using units better than any other player, because if you can use Defilers well, correctly, the same with Queens, they are fairly effective units. We just saw how effective Queens can be. We know how effective Defilers can be, and we never see Queens out there, so it was really cool to see that on top of it all. Now, if he had combined the two, if he had ever managed to defend that bottom left base and actually have 4 gas going, and he could support both Defilers and Queens, and here's the critical point, control them both, we could have really seen some quality play, and really, we could have seen an upset against Flash. He really had him running away for a few minutes there, and he took out a decent-sized army with not that many units of himself. But I don't think he even knows when to pull back quite as well as some of the other pro players do, because he didn't conserve a lot of his units either. He really was, zerging, he had to pull back more than he did. But overall, I mean, it was a good effort, a good game. But Flash just proving why he is Flash, and I mean, he just ended up owning him.
Yeah, I mean, also, I think the fact is, the fact of the matter is, Kiva was on three bases, basically, two gas, and, basically his main, the natural, and the mineral only, during the entire time that he was going Ultra Ling. And basically, he totally failed to set up another expansion the entire game. He had one expansion, the upper right, he got up finally. But the initial push had to exceed beyond his wildest dreams for him to win that game, because he was so
Oh
far
yeah.
behind in resources. I mean, he had ensnare plus lings plus a couple of ultras, but he needed that force to win. The longer the game dragged on, once that force got killed off, then I think it was pretty much it, because Flash was able to expand, was able to. There was no way for Hiva to defend his expansions, because once that initial army goes down, he had so little production compared to what a Zerg normally would have at high level. They would have at least 3 gas. But he had just 2
Yeah,
gas, and he just couldn't pump out the tech units in sufficient numbers to fight a late game Terran.
I
But yeah, I
agree.
agree. It was an interesting build. But we'll be moving on. We'll be, I believe, doing one more commentary tonight, and I think that will be 4GG versus Light. Was it from Lake
Yep.
Camp Oz versus NBC Hero? And we heard once again this was from a viewer request. So keep the requests coming. And thanks for watching. GG.